Now that our super secret special NFL mock draft is in the rear view, there is no more fooling around. With Pro Day workouts also in the books and the 2019 NFL Draft fast approaching, it's time for another real first-round mock draft. In our last mock draft for 2019, we considered how teams' short-term needs changed after NFL free agency. This time, we have a better understanding of where the top prospect stock is settling, and who each team is interested in picking in the 2019 NFL Draft. NFL Draft 2019, big board of top 100 prospects. With all that in mind, here is how we see picks number 1 through number 32 playing out on the night of April 25th. NFL Mock Draft 2019 1. Arizona Cardinals Kyler Murray, QB, Oklahoma Murray squashed plenty of questions about his undersized frame by measuring better than expected, 5'10", 207 pounds, 9.5-inch hands. His dynamic playmaking, backed by smarts and accuracy, has the Cardinals locked on Murray going to work in a Cliff Kingsbury passing offense suited to him. This pick makes sense regardless of whether the Cardinals can trade last year's first-rounder, Josh Rosen, which is still likely. To San Francisco 49ers, Nick Bosa. The Ohio State Bosa is a no-brainer for the 49ers here. Pro Bowl tackle DeForest Buckner had a breakout pass rush season, and fellow first-rounder Solomon Thomas found another gear after he slid inside. Bosa is a sleek edge force, 6'4", 266 pounds, with even more upside than that of brother Joey. 3. New York Jets Quinnen Williams, DT, Alabama. The Jets plan to stick with a base 3-4 defense, but coordinator Greg Williams' strong 4-3 background suggests he will bring a hybrid scheme in which he can make good use of quick interior linemen beyond Leonard Williams. Quinnen Williams over edge rusher Josh Allen is a mild upset. This Williams is a massive 6'3", 303 pounds, and explosive interior disruptor. It's hard to ignore his Aaron Donald-like potential after his meteoric rise through his final college season. 4. Oakland Raiders Josh Allen, the OLB, Kentucky IRF. The Jets go with Williams. The Raiders should not hesitate to jump on an ideal replacement for Kyle Mack. Allen was productive in college and is loaded with the kinds of moves that will allow him to continue racking up sacks in the NFL. He also is capable of making plays in coverage. 5. Tampa Bay Buccaneers Devin White, ILB, LSU. White covers a ton of ground against the run and also will upgrade their intermediate coverage as Quan Alexander's replacement. White is the rangiest defender in the 2019 class and can be Todd Bowles' most impactful 3-4 inside linebacker since the best of Darrell Washington in Arizona. White showed off his elite speed and athleticism at the Combine in a compact package, 6'0", 237 pounds. NFL Draft, all-time greatest draft steals 6. New York Giants Rashawn Gary, DT, the Michigan Gary, a versatile defender, can produce even better in James Bettcher's 3-4 scheme than he did with the Wolverines, with Calais Campbell-like upside for it. Gary uses his hands, power and big frame, 6'4", 277 pounds, to occupy run blockers. He also has some intriguing inside pass rush ability. Then Jacksonville Jaguars Jawan Taylor, OT, Florida. Now that the Jaguars have a confident, downfield throwing quarterback in Nick Foles, they can focus on shoring up his pass protection. Taylor, 6'5", 312 pounds, offers agility, smarts and technique to handle most athletic edge rushers. He has been rising upwards as scouts have realized he is not just relegated to right tackle and can thrive better than anyone else in this class on the left side. 8. Detroit Lions Montez Sweat, the OLB, Mississippi State. Sweat crushed his combine workouts, running the 40-yard dash in 4.41 seconds and recording a vertical of 36 inches, which is ridiculous at his size, 6'6", 260 pounds. He translates that into relentless pursuit of the passer. Matt Patricia should be thrilled to get him to pair with former Patriot Trey Flowers in the Lions' new-look edge rush. 9. Buffalo Bills' Andre Dillard, OT, Washington State. The Bills can think about getting second-year quarterback Josh Allen more offensive skill support, but after getting Mitch Morse, Spencer Long and Ty Nsika in free agency, they should complete their line overhaul with a major upgrade over Deion Dawkins at left tackle. Dillard backed up a big week of Senior Bowl practices with an impressive combine performance. His athleticism was on full display to prove that, at 6'5", 315 pounds, he is the smoothest pass protector in this class. 10. Denver Broncos Dwayne Haskins, QB, Ohio State. John Elway has his new bridge QB in Joe Flacco, but he still needs to consider a first-rounder in 2019. Haskins cemented his draft stock late in the Buckeyes season, when he had some jaw-dropping games with his big arm and downfield accuracy. He has ideal size, 6'3", 231 pounds, as a strong pocket passer with the right dose of athleticism. That checks the right boxes for Elway, enough where it wouldn't be surprising if Denver traded up a little to get Haskins. NFL Draft, best first-round pick since 2011. Cincinnati Bengals Cody Ford, OT, Oklahoma. Ford is raw as a lineman, but he can immediately start and address the Bengals' big weakness at right tackle, where he is built to deliver as a big-time run blocker for Joe Mixon before rounding into a physical pass protector. 12. Green Bay Packers Devin Bush, ILB, Michigan. The Packers made major free agency moves to address outside linebacker in Mike Pettini's 3-4 with Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith, and they also signed an elite safety in Adrian Amos. After not re-signing fellow former Wolverine Jake Ryan, they would love to get Bush, who is right there with White as a complete linebacker. Bush did his best to match White athletically at the Combine, proving his size, 5'11", 234 pounds, is no limitation to his playmaking. 13. Miami Dolphins Ed Oliver, DL, Houston. The Dolphins have a big void up front after Cameron Wake left for the Titans, and they need a versatile cornerstone for Brian Flores' defense. Oliver has become more of an end tackle tweener and mini scout size rather than the pure inside force that is Quinnen Williams. Flores, however, should see that as more of a strength than a weakness. 14. Atlanta Falcons Jonah Williams, OT, Alabama. The Falcons signed two veterans for help at guard in James Carpenter and Jamin Brown, and this is their chance to upgrade right tackle after releasing longtime starter Ryan Shredder. Williams is a strong pass protector who also is big enough, 6'4", 302 pounds, to pave the way in the running game. 15. Washington Redskins DK Metcalf, WR, Ole Miss. The Redskins have a couple short-term Alex Smith contingencies in Case Keenum and Colt McCoy, and if they don't target a quarterback later in the draft, trading for Rosen would be an option, too. Using this pick to go after a true number one receiver, instead, makes a lot more sense. Metcalf lived up to his reputation as a beast, 6'3", 228 pounds, at the Combine with his blazing 40-yard dash time, 4.33, high number of bench press reps, 27, and amazing vertical, 40.5 inches. He's a classic size, speed prospect, and then some. NFL Draft, biggest busts in draft history. 16. Carolina Panthers Clelin Ferrell, Clemson. The Panthers' top draft need is a quick, powerful end, a player who can slide inside at times in Ron Rivera's defense. Ferrell is the best of the Clemson defensive line prospects because his size, 6'4", 264 pounds, makes him a good outside run stopper to add to his explosiveness as a pass rusher. 17. New York Giants, from Browns, Brian Burns, OLB, Florida State. Don't be surprised if the Giants double up on defense with their two first-rounders rather than forcing an offensive pick. After getting Gary, going for Burns as the type of edge pass rusher they traditionally love is smart, especially with the developing opportunity to get Duke quarterback Daniel Jones early in the second round. Burns had 15.5 sacks in his final Seminoles season and was a borderline first-rounder until the Combine, where he arrived bulked up at 6'5", 245 pounds without showing a drop-off in his explosiveness. 14. Minnesota Vikings TJ Hawkinson, Iowa. The Vikings plan to keep Kyle Rudolph for his age 30 season, but he becomes a free agent in 2020. Here the Vikings can go best player available to line up a strong replacement. Hawkinson looks like the next great all-around player at the position with his hands, physicality, smarts and agility. At 6'5", 251 pounds, he lived up to his billing at the Combine. 19. Tennessee Titans. Irv Smith, Alabama. The Titans should be ready to jump on Hawkinson if he is available, but this is still a good way to get help for both Marcus Mariota and Derrick Henry. Smith is a technically sound run blocker and route runner who has shown vertical receiving juice to go with compact size, 6'2", 242 pounds. He delivered a strong enough combine to place himself behind Hawkinson as the draft's second-best tight end. 20. Pittsburgh Steelers. Greedy Williams, CB, LSU. The Steelers signed former Chief Steven Nelson in free agency, but Joe Hayden, who turns 30 in April, is in the final year of his contract. Williams is a long, lean corner, 6'2", 185 pounds, who has rare speed, quickness and agility for his size. He is not the most physical player, but he is fundamentally sound in coverage, and he uses his length at the line of scrimmage to break up routes. NFL Draft. Each team's worst ever regret. 21. Seattle Seahawks. Jalen Ferguson, Louisiana Tech. The Seahawks used the franchise tag on Frank Clark, but they need to further boost their pass rush for Pete Carroll to get it back to where it once was when Cliff Avril and Michael Bennett were at their best together. Ferguson shows some explosive pass rush moves and has been productive in that area. He will stay on the field in the NFL as a big, 6'5", 259 pounds, natural run stopper off the edge. 22. Baltimore Ravens. Garrett Bradbury, CNC. State. The Ravens got Mark Ingram to add to their run-heavy offensive mentality with Lamar Jackson at the controls, and now they need to solidify their weakest position up front. Bradbury would be a huge upgrade from Matt Skura between Alex Lewis and Marshall Yanda. 6'3", 306 pounds, Bradbury has the size, power, smarts and athleticism to anchor an offensive line as a strong starter for a decade. 23. Houston Texans. Caleb McGarry, OT, Washington. The Texans will think about a corner here, but ultimately, they can't ignore offensive line after Deshaun Watson was sacked a league-high 62 times last season. McGarry has steadily moved up the board as he has proved to scouts he can match his massive frame, 6'7", 317 pounds, with power and explosiveness. He's athletic enough to handle at least starting at right tackle before rounding out his footwork and agility to possibly play on the left side. 24. Oakland Raiders. From Bears. Josh Jacobs, RB, Alabama. The Raiders did not re-sign Doug Martin, and they are still waiting to find out whether Marshawn Lynch will return for another season. They need to move on with a young, three-down option. Jacobs, 5'10", 220 pounds, is the best bet of any feature-type back to go early. There's a bit of Ezekiel Elliott in him. He is a smart, complete back who runs with great vision and power, and he is equally elusive as an outside runner and receiver. 25. Philadelphia Eagles. Jonathan Abram, Mississippi State. The Eagles have Rodney McLeod under contract through 2019, and Malcolm Jenkins is 31 with 2 years left on his deal, so they should think about landing the draft's top safety. Abram, 5'11", 205 pounds, is a physical run defender with some untapped coverage playmaking potential in the Landon Collins vein. He can operate well in Jim Schwartz's scheme. NFL Draft ranking. First-round QBs since 2026. Indianapolis Colts. Dexter Lawrence, DT, Clemson. This pick continues to line up well for the Colts as they pile talent from Eddie Eberflus's young defense. With edge pass rusher less of a concern after signing Justin Houston, they need to upgrade next to Marcus Hunt up front to help linebackers Anthony Walker and Darius Leonard. Lawrence is a textbook inside run stuffer with ideal size, 6'4", 342 pounds. 27. Oakland Raiders, from Cowboys Byron Murphy, CB, Washington. The Raiders can go back to defense with their last first-rounder and add an ideal starter to play opposite Garon Conley and Paul Guenther's cover 2 zone scheme. Murphy is a smooth, fluid cover man. What he gives up in size and press potential, 5'11", 190 pounds, he makes up for in speed, aggressiveness and ball-hawking skills. 28. Los Angeles Chargers Drew Lock QB. Missouri defense should be on the Chargers' minds with this pick, but it wouldn't be shocking to see them deviate from that plan should this intriguing successor to Phillip Rivers fall to them. Lock has a big arm to go with ideal size, 6'4", 228 pounds. He also has the fearlessness and elusiveness every NFL team likes in an aggressive, downfield passer. 29. Kansas City Chiefs DeAndre Baker, CB, Georgia. If all the top edge pass rushers are gone, the Chiefs should not hesitate to jump on the best available corner after Williams and Murphy. Baker has a smart, physical, press coverage presence to compensate. He backed up his size, 5'11", 193 pounds, with good speed at the combine. 30. Green Bay Packers, from Saints, Marquise Brown, WR, Oklahoma. The Packers can consider Iowa tight end Noah Fant here, too, but they can go with a dynamic receiver to work off Devontae Adams, replacing Randall Cobb and also giving them more pop. Aptly nicknamed Hollywood for his Florida hometown, Brown has plenty of flash as a field stretcher. At 5'9", 166 pounds, he has elite vertical speed and great quickness coming in and out of routes. Brown missed the combine and the Sooners' pro day coming off Lisfranc surgery, but he should be good to go for the heat of the off-season program. 31. Los Angeles Rams Dalton Risner, OL, Kansas State. Risner is a technically sound lineman with a mean streak to pair with his physicality. His pass blocking is underrated and still developing, but he already is a huge 6'3", 308 pounds asset in the running game. With Bradbury off the board, the Rams should consider targeting Risner to immediately start at left guard after losing Roger Saffold in free agency. 32. New England Patriots Christian Wilkins, DT. Clemson. Wilkins can line up everywhere and is equally effective stopping the run outside and getting to the QB inside. He measured 6'3", 315 pounds, and tested as well as advertised at the combine.